Hello and welcome to round 7 of the ACC Simpit GT World Challenge here, powered by Sim Racing GP. We're at Snetterton today in the UK. Pictures were taken a little bit earlier on this morning in game, a little bit more overcast as we speak. The cars are already out on track in free practice. So today, currently we only have 4 cars with us. Hopefully there will be more showing up. But we will get over to the live action and see how everyone is getting on. So we currently are looking at Mr. Ken Step. In his command, running a little bit wide down the exit. What drivers have to remember is the rumble strip is not track limits at this track. It is the white line that is going to be track limits. So Ken, for the first time we can officially say it, Ken with the fastest lap of the session. He is the only car that's actually put a lap time in at mode, so this is understandable way. But we will go through our cameras that we have on board with the drivers today. So we do have our in-car camera with Ken, our front splitter cam, a rear wing, and a heavy onboard dash cam as well. But we also have reverse Joseph Galkov, he's in the pits currently. Slee Witcher, our current point standing champ leader. She's with us today in, I'll see her Aston Martin. And sorry if I do sound a little bit more rough today, I'm not very well again. But unfortunately very little sleep. But I'll try to push through as best as I can. But we also have, like I said, Joseph Galkov and his McLaren. Well, our current champion, he is currently sat in the pits, it's Mr. Heiko Schumann. Ken puts another new fast time in of a 2:03.677. Slee Witcher comes in with a 2 minutes .422. So we always expect a lot of high pace coming out of Slee. We'll have to see how Jaroslav and Mr. Heiko Sherman can do against her today. So that's one of these really awkward tracks. This corner's always slightly tightening until then a 90 degrees left-hander. As your last turn, as you can see, Jaroslav going off wide there, because that won't count for him. As we're going to go right at Mr. Heiko Schumann in his Porsche, representing Republic Racing as always. So guys, like I said, I am very ill, so if I start feeling too bad, I will unfortunately end the stream. I will try my absolute best for that not to happen today. Actually, put another new fast lap in now. Well, like I say, this is only free practice, so lap time's not really meaning anything at the moment. But we will have a look at the standings whilst everyone's just having a pretty free practice. So, in first place it is Celine Witcher on 136 points. Heiko Schumann now on 110 points. He needs a long way to catch up by now. Celine's nearly got it in the bag for the championship. In first place, Joseph Galkov on 73, Stephen McAfee on 64, Natalie Lee on 55, Ken Estek on 40 points, Alex Lafos on 22 points, Cal L, he's on 20 points, Callum McLeod on 10, Chris Generelli on 10, Bruce Van Rook on 6, Devin Booth, Rennie Garcia and Ola Starkvist on 9 points. Unfortunately, they have not been able to make any of the races so far this season. Head back over to the live track. As Heiko runs wide in the final corner as well. So at the moment, Heiko's the only one who doesn't have a lap time. Well, we have Celine Witcher with a 2 minutes point 115. Joseph Galkov on a 201.162. Kanestov on a 203.667. And Heiko, as I said, not having a valid lap time as we speak. So we're coming up to just 2 minutes remaining of free practice. And then we'll be hopping straight over into qualifying. Okay, making it around the final turn this time. And puts the new fastest lap in of a 159.1. Near enough a whole 1 second faster than Celine. So we see the big heavy Camaro of Canister come through the bomb hole. This makes his way around final part of the course. One more corner to go. They just kept it in. And he did actually keep it in, so that's good for him. Should be an improvement on lap time. And it was a 203.077 for Ken. Just look from the helicopter over Jaroslav Galkov now. He's coming on to the back straight. So this will be the final lap on free practice. So Jaroslav Galkov will just finish off at the end of free practice, and then we'll be straight into qualifying. As you can see, the overlay of Stetterton here rolling for us just as we wait for him to cross the line on the next session to start. And you can never predict British weather. As we come back over to, as you can see, it's very overcasty, and that is because I've just looked at the weather radar, and I'll bring it up for you as well in game. In 10 minutes time, there is a rain on its way, and it's going to get heavier. The track is in optimum conditions as we speak. The air temp is 21, track of 27. 1 km/h wind, so this rain that will come most likely in race could throw a spanner in the works. It was meant to only have the most smallest possible chance of rain, and unfortunately it looks like we are going to have that rain for the drivers. So, nearly 3 races in a row that we will be having rain show up in the race. So let's see how everyone gets on. So track is in the best conditions it's going to be most likely the entire race. Also through qualifying, so let's just see how everyone gets on. So Jaroslav Galkov is the first to take onto a final line lap, closely followed by Celine Witcher. As they come down into turn 2, you can see the monster tree in the background is there. Unfortunately, in real life, it doesn't exist no more. It fell during a massive storm in 2020. But the laser scan, even though the DLC came out before this in 2020, it is actually representing the 2019 season of British GT. Just keeping it bound. I thought he was going to go off a little bit wide there. So I'm going to come across the line and start. He goes first pole time of a 202.22 straight away. Celine Witts right behind, dropping a 158.895. Keller steps time there, saying it's a 5 minutes. It's not an actual time, that is a time he's been sat in pit lane and come out as Jaroslav gets it wrong. He's put that in still, so he's going to have to tow. So we'll keep an eye over onto Celine Witcher. As the rain has started to fall in qualifying, the rain is here early. So Heiko Sherman, he did not get out to put a lap in straight away. This could easily now take him away from being on pole. So these track conditions are going to change quite fast now. These slick tyres going to struggle, especially for Heiko Sherman. He was near enough just on it. He was actually on an outlap as the rain came down. Did he predict it right? Did he go straight onto rain tyres? We'll have a look and see. We'll be able to tell as he comes past us if there's any yellow markings on the tyres. It does look like he is out there on slicks. Heiko goes wide, that's going to drop this lap. He is on slick tyres. So Celine's coming out, I believe, on wet tyres now. And Heiko's already dirtied his second this lap as well. I do believe. Yeah, these slick tyres are not the time to be on now, Heiko. You definitely need to be on wet tyres. So we'll go back. Can I step in? Camaro. Currently only sitting on an outlap time, so this will also be an outlap for him. So headlights are on for Ken. Don't see his rain light on yet. So you can see plain black wolf tyres there for Celine. That's showing that she is on the wet dry tyre, on the wet tyre. Heiko definitely got that yellow band in the tyres that you can see there, so definitely he's on slick tyres. Definitely not the right move right now. Just look down, he is sat in pit lane. But Haikushima definitely on the slick tyre. Just trying to get around. Haiku still staying out on these dry tyres. Rain light is on for Heiko. Headlights are on now. He's got to realise these slick tyres are not the tyres to be on. But I do believe we've seen the fastest lap in qualifying. You can see Celine Richard, even now she's only coming into turn 3. It's already nearly a second and a half down on her best lap. I think Joseph Galkov, he's going to be safe, he doesn't need to come back out on track. Okay, let's step, he's now in pit lane as well. So focus on Celine. See how much time she's losing, even though she's on the wet tyre, to her first qualifying lap time. That was in the dry. Heiko, our current leader in the our current champion, now taking it to the escape road. Surely by now he'll have to come into the pit lane, get some wet tyres on and actually set a lap time. As you can see this lap time from Celine. Nearly 9 seconds off her best lap. And Heiko Schirm does now come into pit lane. Kind of step, he is out on track. Just trying to just get a little bit better time than he's got at the moment. As you see, that track is getting wet out there, very heavily, very fast. So those tyre pressures that could have been okay a minute ago now could be even too low on these tyres just because of how much more water has come down on this circuit. These drivers would have had to now change basically some of their setup. They've had to put more traction control in the car. Just trying to keep the car on the circuit. But I do believe that we are going to not get any more fast laps coming out of anyone. As you can see, Celine's times are dropping even more now as the track is getting more and more wet. Slav's going, you know what, yeah, I may be this time off of sleep. But there's no point me trying to go back out of sleep. This is the pit lane entries there. You can see there's definitely a bubble. So have a look over at Mr. Kenner's step. Okay, just behind Heiko. And Celine has in fact towed to the pits as I expected her to do so. Can keep those together. Ken is on the lap, as you can see, even to this point here, not even halfway through the lap, it's nearly 8 seconds down on his best already. Just showing you how drastic this change has been. So this is a very, very tight, narrow track. Very technical track as well, so passing is going to be difficult here. It's not impossible, but it is very difficult to pass. And with these weather conditions, it's going to be very hard one to slip through. So Ken is dropping it back to the pit lane as well. Haiku now actually on a flying lap on wet tyres. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can get a lap in. Again, his qualifying best delta does not exist, so we'll take that off the screen right now. We do not expect anyone else to get better lap times in than they already have. Oh, we do hear the Camaro refire up. Mr. Kennesup is coming back out on track. You can see how wet the track has changed in such short amount of time. I go keep it together. Very big slide. Keep it together, Heiko. There's a couple of more corners to go. Big sweeping right-hander now. And then the tight left. Sliding a lot. Keep it together, Heiko. This should be a lap for him. So this will probably determine Ken's slow lap time. As you can see, 10 seconds off the pole time because Slee's lap time was done in the dry. Heiko's time was done in the wet. She's now just trying to find where there is a grip. But this give you a prime example of waiting around to come out the pits was not the best idea for Heiko Schumann. So he'll now be starting behind Steen and Jaroslav. So here's why that's that lap dirty for him. Mr. Kenestep, he's starting a new lap now. So what Ken has to do is get a clean valid lap. See where his lap times are. Goes off again. He knows he's not going to get another lap time in, so Heiko, I don't think he's going to improve, but this is the final lap of qualifying now with only 20 seconds remaining. Big slide through turn 1 on the exit. So it's Netterton 300, you're going to turn left there, you're going to be straight onto the back straight. And this is Netterton 500, so it's the longer track. Again, as most circuits are in the UK, this is an Air Force base. Used back in World War I, hence why the corner called Bomb Hole. So he could just barely keep seeing track, but he is going to end his qualifying there. And it has, officially, it has stopped raining. As you can see, it'll be 4 minutes until we start going. I'm going to hop into game quickly just so we can see. Track is damp for the next half an hour. It is going to be dry. So, damp track is going to get drier over the session. So, very mixed qualifying to the race. This is going to throw some fun in for the guys. So, there's our mandatory pit stop shown for you. We'll put obviously our race numbers on, and we'll put our race gaps up as well. So, we'll have a quick look at our standings yet again. You do have Celine Witcher in first with 136 points. Heiko Sherman in second on 110. Joseph Galkov in third with 73. Steve McCaffrey, he's not here today. He's with 64 points. Natalie Lee, she's not here today on 55. Ken Estep, he's going to gain a lot of points from today's race. He's currently sat on 40 points. Alex Lafros, another driver who's not made it today. He's on 22. Cal, he's on 20 points again. Another driver who's not made it. Cal McLeod, Chris Genovelli, both on 10 points. Woods of Almuric, he's on 6 points. Another driver who's not been able to make it today. And then we have Devon Buff, Rennie Garcia, and Ola Starquist, all on no points, as none of them have been able to make any of the races. We do ask drivers to make as many as possible. Again, real life issues and work and family come first over sim racing. We've always said this. So, can Celine win today? And I do believe if she wins today and next week will be at Circuit of the Americas, I do believe she will win this championship with 2 rounds left to go. I will have to double check that to be ready for you for next round. So we'll have another look over the circuit. So current circuit's more looking like this than it was just 1 hour ago in game when we were out there for qualifying. So this is the treacherous tight turn 3. A lot of people do get the exit will start. Here's turn 4. Turn 5. It's another tight hairpin left. Then just after the back straight here is another very awkward corner. Not high speed to a sweeping left. As it is sharp, but it's not sharp as the right hander on the exit of that corner. But again, we will head over to do apologise for that. But we'll head over to the track as the cars are now firing up. So we hear the cars fire up. That means we have lots of Heiko Sherman. Heiko Sherman has not pressed drive in time. That means he will be starting from pit lane. We've seen how critical that was to Carl last week. So second point place in the championship, going to be starting from the pit lane. That is absolutely huge. That's going to have some huge implications because that is mean he's going to be. Luckily, it's only such a small grid of cars, but he is going to be technically losing one place straight off the bat, and having to wait till the cars get past the exit of pit lane for him to be let loose, and the cars will be at that point on full throttle, barreling their way up into turn 1. So this is going to give Sleen quite a bit of a gap to Heiko right away. What is going to, with how the track is on a damp circuit at the moment, I don't think that's going to be the best thing. But a damp track getting drier, so we'll go from damp to greasy track. Then the track will go green, fast, and optimum. Over that time period, the track obviously getting drier and drier. The tyre pressures will increase even more so. This is now going to be a battle of getting your tyre pressures correctly for these drivers. So, for the start of the race, in these wet conditions, even though you'd want your slicks to be as high optimum as possible, you're going to want to leave some space now, because otherwise your tyres are going to be then overheating and bulging whilst the track is getting drier and drier. Because don't forget, we have a pit window that's going to open at the 25-minute mark and then close at the 35-minute mark. It's into the race. So obviously you can flip-flop that to look at it from the race countdown clock. As the cars will be getting called to go too wide. So as Jaroslav Galkov, I would want to be completely side by side with Sleen here. Also, if I was Ken Estep, I would want to be as close as possible as well to the back of Jaroslav. Just try to minimise the start run-up procedure. And we are green, we are underway. Heiko Sherman can leave the pit lane now. He is still in the pits. As Jaroslav Galkov has put his car around the outside. Is there going to be contact? There is. As we can officially say, Ken Estep is leading this race. Yes, everyone, you heard that correctly. Ken Estep is currently leading this race. Unfortunately, it was lived for very shortly, so he nearly gets into the back of Sleen. do want to have a look back at that replay to see what exactly happened between Celine Witcher and Jaroslav Galkov. So we'll switch over to her view. Apologise, I just clicked on the wrong time of screen. I want to see if she kept on the phone, so natural contact here. What's that second piece of contact? And there was a collision made. We are being strict on collisions. So I will have to go into game quickly, guys. I do apologise for the lag that's in some calls. The track has already gone to fast conditions. Put the code in wrong. So, as you can see, 5 seconds will be added to Celine in the pit lane. Just see me put it into the game there. So, she will have an extra 5 seconds in pit lane. Again, I do apologise for the skipped frames that we do lose whilst I have to go into game. Again, I am looking for a fellow commentator so I can have them come into game and put the codes in when they need to. Kenneth Step has already come out, been in pit lane. I do believe he might have his tyre pressures completely incorrect. Or may have even started on wet tyres, so that's unfortunately put him now way, way down. Obviously, Jaroslav Galkov. He's now he's still within 5 seconds of Celine. He must stay within that 5 seconds to be able to gain that time back. So it does look like the sun is coming out even more now. This is the British weather for you. Like I said, next season we will be using real life weather. So for that day, that means we'll be using how much percentage of chance there is rain, how much average cloud cover, and also the average temperature for that day will be put into the sim on race day 1 hour before the server goes live. So all data will be not shown for those races until 1 hour beforehand. So bear that in mind. Just keeping that in track limits there was Jaroslav. Look at that. Hiker trying to gain as much time back as possible here. Get a little bit of understeer, then oversteer. That portion definitely not set up right for today's race. Psycho losing it there, taking too much speed in. This is the problem with Snetterton as a track. It will catch you off guard very, very quickly. So last, I was gonna say last lap, they were split by 0.05 of a second on their fastest laps. But Celine Witcher now just putting in a 2 minutes and 0.445. Joseph Galkov 4 tenths back on his lap time. He needs to try to keep that time down to a minimum. Remember, Celine does have that 5 second time penalty for causing that collision in turn 2. Let's just watch Heiko Sherman come through it. We'll have a look back at Mr. Kellerstep. Mr. Ken comes through the bomb hole. Don't forget, he's took an early pit stop. I do hope that he is on slick tyres. I'm just thinking maybe there was a possibility that he started on the wet tyres. I will be checking him obviously with the drivers afterwards. As you see, there is a little bit of damage on the front end of that Aston Martin, but it is not slowing Celine down. Maybe losing a couple of attempts if that. But that is going to be time that she doesn't have to fix in the pit lane. We'll have to wait and see if she does. So it's going to be hard for me to do this broadcast today with only 4 cars on circuit. Especially for a 1 hour race as Jaroslav goes wide. That final turn, we will have a look inside. As you can see, Celine Witcher 5-second time penalty. Very nice laps coming out of Celine. Been very consistent. Last lap though, actually what, nearly 8 tenths, no sorry, was 6 tenths off her best. But again, 6 tenths is nothing to keep that consistency going, what is good. Justin's laps, like both last laps, were faster than his personal best and have both been dirty, so we're going to have to keep an eye on him because he may get a track limits penalty here. It will be the worst thing possible because he's in that range of being able to beat Celine through the pits with her having that pit stop penalty. Again, running wide in that final turn. I'll keep flicking it into the in-game view, guys. I just want to keep an eye to make sure, see if he does get a drive-through penalty for track limits. As Heiko Sherman puts a new fast lap in of 2:03. Sorry, a 2 minutes flat, 3:05. Just 0.140 faster than Celine Witcher. But if he can keep that pace going, with Celine's average lap time being a little bit slower, can he crawl his way back into this? But unfortunately, starting in pit lane. So just look like as you can see, 6.2 seconds I would say the gap is along the back straight. It's a very big spit flow there coming back off that McLaren. Is he going to run wide? Yet again, he runs wide. He is going to be constantly getting warnings from the game about track limits. May not be getting time penalty wise, but he will be getting warnings saying stay within track limits. I do want to keep an eye on that. Unfortunately, I do not have a secondary race control person here that can sit in the stream. Oh, sorry, not sit stream, but sit in game and just watch his car for the entire race. Because if he keeps cutting there, I will have to put a warning out in game for track limits. And if he does keep failing to stay within them, I will have to give a manual drive through for it because he is abusing that final corner. Especially with his lap times. I do believe he is gaining time from it. So that push on that from Heiko, unfortunately his next lap was quite a bit slower. We'll have a look back over at Jaroslav, see if he makes the same mistake again. No, this time he does stay within track limits. As you can see the gap to him and Heiko Schumann there. As Jaroslav Galkovsky keeping it cleanest that time, getting a new personal fastest lap. Sorry, and not just a new personal, the fastest lap of the session. Heiko last two laps are in the 201s. He is now falling back from both of these two in front of him now. He was slowly gaining and now he's starting to fall back. I wonder if his tyre pressures are now getting too high. As we still have now 10 minutes until pit window opens where they can get a new set of tyres on these cars. Canester, unfortunately, he had to take an early pit stop for an unknown reason, but he is still mustering around here. One of the nicest sounded GT4 cars tomorrow. Out in front is Celine Witcher. As you can see, that is a very, very tight corner. Cycling through cameras to see what things we do have on boards. Jaroslav's car now on his dash cam. Very wide again. That's not where you want to be on this track. Hey Nick, welcome to the chat, buddy. Good to see you here. Unfortunately, we do only have 4 cars on the circuit, so bit of a shame. As you can see, Jaroslav from his helmet cam. As I said, unfortunately, I'm a little bit ill, so commentary is a little bit rough today. There has been a little bit of contact at the start between Jaroslav Galkov and running wide yet again. He is really pushing this game's track limits. He will be penalised very shortly, if not by game, by myself, because of the abuse of track limits. But out front is Celine Witcher for Turman Valkyries in her Aston Martin. As you can see the damage on the front of her car. That was for turning Jaroslav Galkov on the exit of turn 2. She's just come through there, causing herself to get a 5-second time penalty that will have to be served in the pit lane as Heiko Sherman puts a new fastest lap in of a 1:59.652. Unfortunately for Heiko, yes, he qualified in 3rd place, but he did not press drive and had to start from pit lane. Unfortunately for him, and again, unfortunately, Mr. Ken Estep having to take an early pit stop unfortunately cost him quite a bit of time as well. So just coming up to 20 minutes into the race. Again, that would mean in 5 minutes time pit window will open. Jaroslav keeping it in track limits at this time. Through the bomb hole now. Big final right hander. Snap to a sudden 90 degrees right hander. Left hand, sorry. You can tell I'm not feeling well. Again, like I said, I'm running on very, very little sleep. I do apologise. Heiko, not on a faster lap this time, but still faster than both the cars in front of him. Can he close this gap and then put himself into this fight in the second half of the race? So we'll get on board Mr. Ken Estep in that Camaro. With the nicest sounding GT4 cars that I have said. Still out in front by 6.7 seconds is Celine Witcher. So that gap would be 1.7 seconds after this pit stop if you take it as right of now. And both have a perfect pit stop with the identical times on pit road and stop due to Celine having that 5-second penalty for causing a collision. Just going to check and see if my other timetable will let us look back that far to that incident. And it will. So this is turn 1. Turn 2, lap 1. So just get into the back and then hit him again, causing him to spin around. That's what caused the 5-second time penalty. But as you can see, Heike is slowly catching up to Jaroslav. Like I said, can he put himself into the fight in the second half of this race? We had a dry free practice, then we had the start of qualifying. It was dry for all the matter of maybe 5 minutes into qualifying, and then it started raining, and it got very heavy, very fast. As we found out for Heiko, he did not go out at the start of qualifying, what cost him maybe pole position. That's when he did put lap time in. He was 10 seconds lap slower than Celine's qualifying time for pole position. And now, as you can see, just 1 hour later start time from what qualifying was in game, and it is bone dry out there. Track started in damp conditions. The track was fast as we last looked, but we still expect that to get pushed down, maybe even now, already into optimal conditions. Pit lane opens in 30 seconds from now. So you just kind of said, just in the distance there. As I said, he's had to take an early pit stop, unfortunately for him, so he's mustering himself around. Jaroslav Galkov got turned in turn 2, causing Celine Richard to have a 5-second time penalty that will be served in pits. And then we have Mr. Heiko Sherman in 3rd place, not making it to the grid, unfortunately having to start from pit lane. It's a whole race for him. He has been on catch up and has made a few mistakes whilst trying to claw his way back. So guys, I know we've got only a very small amount of cars on track. We have only 4 cars. I'm very ill, unfortunately. Thumbs Up will do the stream very good. It will also help us get out there more. Just more people can see the stream. More people can then come and be interested in maybe even joining us. Especially for next season, we have some very big plans coming. So we do need as many people to take part as possible. Remember, GT World Challenge, this current series, will be going back to GT3 cars and will be renamed to GT European. And then 6 hours after the start of this particular event, what starts at 8 PM UK time, at 2 AM UK time, will be the start of GT America. So, 2 races on one day if you live in the Americas. If you live in Europe, 2 races on 2 days. Well, 2 races, 2 days, split by only 6 hours. again, I will be doing a broadcast for GT Europe. I'm going to be trying to race in GT America myself, as I am looking and hoping to find a broadcast partner to do GT America for us. I'm hoping it will be also an American commentator to have it more fitting alongside the events. Again, for that series, all the overlays will be provided us by ACC TV, the ones who are bringing to us today's overlays, plus also all the standings and thumbnails. The whole shebang will be set up by myself, so all the broadcast has to do is set up the overlays and then just do the commentary, so making all the work nice and easy for them. Whoever wants to do it, if you are in the chat, let me know. DM me on our Discord channel. Discord link is in the description of the video. As you see, Celine just coming up to behind Ken. No, we're taking a pit stop yet, but it is a very fast and tight pit entrance coming on into here. So both leaders are staying out. We'll have a look back at Hyper Sherman. He's staying out as well. So everyone is pushing this pit stop as far back as possible. Just gonna have a look over from the helicopter view. You see Heiko coming into turn 1 as Ken comes through turn 3. Unfortunately, we've taken that extra amount of pit stop time. He is nearly already 8 lap down. As we come up to the halfway mark, I'll bring up the standings one last time during today's race. As you can see, Celine is in first, 136 points. Heiko Sherman in second, 110. Joseph Galkov in third with 73. Stephen McCaffrey in fourth with 64 points. Natty Lee in fifth with 55 points. Ken Estep in sixth with 40 points. Alex Lafos in seventh on 22 points. Cal L in eighth on 20 points. Callum McLeod, Chris Generelli both on 10 points. Wouter Van Burk on 6 points. And Devin Booth, Rennie Garcia and Ona Snarkis unfortunately not making any rounds so far. But as we can see on the track maps, Celine which is now closing onto the back of Ken Estep. Will this be time to take the pit stop? Ken Estep is in pit lane now, so he's going to try to use this lap to get in front. Joseph Galkov yet again running really wide on the exit of the final turn. Lap times are coming down now to they can get a pit stop in. Is Heiko Sherman going to dive pit lane? He is diving into pit lane. So, third and fourth place in pit lane. First and second still out on track. So remember, the window will shut at 25 minutes remaining. Laps are 2 minutes long here. That means in my eyes they will have to pit either this lap or hope that they can break the beam on pit entry very shortly on the lap after. Myself personally, I would not want to try to push that. I would want to get in this lap now. So Heiko Sherman, Ken Estep, both their pit stops valid and on their way. will have to have a look at the exit of their pit stops. What we will do when Celine and Mr. Joseph Galkov run into their pit lane. So, does Celine jump into pit lane now? She does not, so she's going to try to make it one more lap. She does have the time for it. Joseph Galkov, he's diving into pit lane now. So Joseph Galkov in pit lane. He did not want to try to push it around. So as you can see, clean pit stop is Heiko Schumann. Clean pit stop for Ken Estep. The 5-second penalty just under the bar on the far right hand side. There is 5 seconds in that box for Celine for that contact that happened in turn 1. This is why I said next season, guys, all races are going to be real weather. So we'll be taking the weather report from the race, from the track, that day, and it will be put into the server info 1 hour before the race. So practice in the wet, practice in the dry, practice at different temperatures, because you will need to keep an eye on it. Joseph Galkov is now out of pits. But Heiko Schumann did gain time on him in the pit stops. We will go back and again see if he can speed. No, his lap pit stop was clean. So, Celine Witcher with 1 minute left on the clock. She did have enough time to do the second lap, but she will have to pit this lap. So here comes race leader and current points leader into pit lane. Like I said, she's going to be stationary for an extra 5 seconds in these pits. Engine off. So, keep an eye on Jaroslav Galkov, as he is now approaching right behind Mr. Kenneth Estep. Ken is a very, very clean driver. He will not want to try to hold up P2. Know that this could be potential swap for position, depending on pit lane times. As Ken unfortunately runs really wide. So Celine is out on the run. And she's out of pits and she's broken the time beam. Joseph Galkov absolutely hammering that McLaren up now. You can see he gained time, but in the pit stop he was slow, quicker. So Celine, including her 5-second penalty, she was stationary in the pits for 40 seconds dead on, so she was 10 seconds slower in that pit stop. We only expected the 5 seconds. Joseph Galkov, he was stationary for 36.7 whilst he got his little bit of damage repaired. Heiko Schumann, he was stationary for 35.7. Ken Estep was stationary for 38.7. So on the pit road itself though, Joseph Galkov was fastest with a 20.1 second pit lane time. It's all looking good through the pit stops. We will look one more time to see if Celine broke the beams, and she did. Pit stop and penalty is clear. So, this is now race to the finish. Can Jaroslav Galkov, now he can see Celine, fight and pull that gap back? Or is Celine going to take yet another win this season? And if Celine wins this race, this will be 5 wins this season. The only other person with any type of wins this season is Mr. Heiko Sherman, who is in 3rd place. He's got 2 wins. So, with 5 wins on the books, it's penciled in right now. Can Jaroslav get that race and go, no, you are not winning 5 races. I want 1 win this season so far. We'll have to wait and see. He's 3.6 seconds back. But with 21 minutes remaining, he does have time to do this. But guys, I'm going to take a very, very quick break. So we are going to go on board with Jaroslav Galkov as he counts down Celine Witcher. I'll be back very, very shortly. I'm back, and it looks like unfortunately he does. Jaroslav Galkov is falling slightly back, but Heiko Sherman is catching Jaroslav Galkov. So as you know, unfortunately for Ken Estep, he is lap down was Heiko. I think we just lost Heiko Schumann from the race. I think he might have just disconnected. We have lost Heiko Schumann. Heiko Schumann has disconnected from the race. So we have lost Heiko Schumann. He can reconnect, but this will promote Ken Estep into third place. This is now near enough guaranteeing Celine Richard the championship right now. So Heiko can rejoin. So bear with me one moment. I'm going to jump in the chat and just see what's going on. So give me 1 minute please, guys.
What happened?
It does.
Oh, that's great.
So Heiko was unfortunately not even aware that he had disconnected then. But I have given the heads up, if he wants to reconnect in, he perfectly can. But this will promote Ken Estep now into third place. What a turn of events has happened today. So this has massive championship implications here. I know I did say that we're going to only keep this down one more time, but we're going to bring it up again. So Heiko, if he does not be able to reconnect, he most likely will, if the game works the way it should do, well, it shouldn't do, he will stick on that 110 points. Jaroslav Galkov, he'll catch up a lot of points here in this race now. But the big game from this will be Ken Estep, who's currently 6th in the championship. He'll jump up, but Celine Richard will gain 25 points as it stands at the moment. What will nearly make it impossible for Heiko Schumann to take this championship away from her. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Heiko Schumann has reconnected. He has reconnected. He is on the same lap. If he gets straight back out right now as Ken Estep. So, Heiko Schumann is reconnected into the server. So, as he has reconnected, this will give him points for a definite. There is no ifs or buts, so he will gain points. So he needs to get out of the pits right now to not be a lap down from Mr. Ken Estep. But he near enough will be anyway. Okay, so Mr. Ken Estep now has technically put a lap onto Heiko Schumann. Celine Richard and Jaroslav Galkov have put 2 laps onto Heiko that time that he's been unfortunately disconnected. But Heiko being in the race will guarantee him the points now. I would have had to manually give him the points if the game would not have done it, as he was in for over 75% of the race. Well, he actually broke, sorry. Yes. Right on the marker for that 75%. But with only 4 cars going, I would have given him full points. Heiko Sherman is out on track. He's just making his way out of pit lane now. So, as you can see, this is the gaps to each other. This is not the overall gaps. This is the gaps to each other. Jaroslav Galkov, 3.8 seconds behind Celine. Kenesep is 1 lap down from Jaroslav Galkov. Heiko Sherman is 2 laps down in total now. But doesn't matter that he is 2 laps down. He will be able to finish this race off and get some points that he desperately needs. So that's Mr. Kenesep crossing the start line. Can Jaroslav crawl this back? He's got just under 12 minutes to go. Can he give us the photo finish that we were looking so desperately for? He made a very brave move around the outside of turn 1 at the start. Unfortunately, having then that issue with Celine in turn 2, or he caused him to get spun, both having damage. But Celine Richard did get a 5-second time penalty for that. He was able to gain more and more time over that first sector of the race. Second half of this race, Jaroslav Galkov has been slowly crawling in. And this is what he needs to do, just keep taking time off, just so he can gain up and get the chance to maybe take this victory away from Celine. Last lap he was 8/10 faster than Celine around the track, with his personal best of a 1:59.587. Heiko Sherman, as you can see, he's still got the fast lap of a 1:58.9. But Celine's best lap, a 1:59.6. So Jaroslav's fastest lap so far is 1 second faster than Celine. Another 1:49.7 from Jaroslav. Celine with a 2 minutes point 2. He is catching. Every lap now he is catching. 10 minutes to go. Can he take this victory? As we does see then, we do see Heiko Sherman. He is back out on track. Such a shame to have that disconnect. But it's like we said, any disconnects or drivers retiring the car can be either taken as a terminal damage to the engine, like a function gearbox, a shifting problem, anything like that, what happens in real life. If you're able to disconnect and then able to reconnect, like Heiko here has, I would say that it's a problem that they were able to fix within the time, so that made them be able to come back out on track. We've seen this happen. I've seen this happen in big 24-hour races. People disconnecting and then able to come back and do very good in that race, because there's other people who've been DNFing and also having disconnects as well. But we will click over to this battle up front. Jaroslav just 3 seconds back now. Soon we're going to be able to look back from Celine's car, saying that we can see, sorry, one car there, from Celine's car, we can actually see Jaroslav from the rear cam. 3.4 seconds back, so we're going to count lap times now, but every lap. Celine, 2 minutes point 2. Jaroslav also with a 2 minutes 2, didn't gain any time that lap. Just wanted to make that gap to the Aston Martin smaller and smaller. It is going to be a race to the finish. There is going to be no cars in front or behind that's going to cause an issue. As we look at Canesta in third, you can see where he is. He's just on his way up into turn 4. Heiko Sherman, he's along the start straight as Jaroslav Galkov and Sleenrich are on the back straight now. So, Slee's last lap at 2 minutes point 0. Jaroslav 1:59.8. Gained 2/10 that lap. But 2/10. It's not going to be enough. He needs those big chunks of time to be able to take this away from Celine. So remember guys, next week we'll be at Circuit of the Americas. Then we'll be at Monza for round 9. Just getting our timetable up. I am missing a race somewhere and it is annoying me where it is to the top of my head. So I will come up, bring the season up in front of me. So, next week will be round 8 at Circuit of the Americas, as I said. Round 9 will be at Monza. Then round 10 will be at the Nürburgring. Round 11 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And then round 12, the final round of the season at Kyalami. As Heiko Sherman, after unfortunately having that disconnect from out of P3, has just put a new fastest lap in of a 1:58.550. Absolutely amazing time coming out of Heiko there. But we do look back at the battle, look in front, look at the time now, 2.1 seconds. Celine at 2 minutes 6. Jaroslav at 1:59.5. That's more of it. That was 1.1 seconds faster. Needs another lap of that just to get in the range. And possibly send it in on the very final lap. Also, drivers next season, all drivers, I mean all drivers must be in voice chat. You can be deafened, you don't have to be talking with anyone. You need to be in there, and then the winner from the race can then you just then, after you win the race, come take yourself out of the voice chat, put yourself into the race broadcast chat, into the green room, where I'll be able to pull you into the main broadcast for your post-race interviews. We'll also be doing it with the season champion for next seasons as well. Bloodroof, hi buddy. I know you just got home from work. Shame that you couldn't be here today. You'd have gained some massive points. Especially with our disconnect from Heiko Sherman. There'd been a possibility you'd have been either 3rd or even 4th in this race. As Heiko, yet again, another fastest lap, a 1:58.390. Heiko absolutely hard charging this, but look at the gap. We will have 2 laps remaining as these two cross the start line. So remember, next week, Circuit of the Americas, then Monza, then Nürburgring, Indianapolis, and then Kyalami, and the season will be done. 1.8 seconds to gap. Last lap times, 2 minutes 2 for Celine, a 1:59.7 for Jaroslav. This is going to come down to the very final lap. Let's hope both drivers do have enough fuel in there to make it to the final, as they will cross the line with only about 20 seconds remaining of the session. One second back now. We're going to click on board with Jaroslav Galkov. So coming into turn 4. See that McLaren's getting closer and closer to this Aston Martin. So all he's got to do is keep it clean, gain the time, and then make the move next lap. Don't try to make it this lap. But now he will be getting the dirty air wash off that Aston Martin. Also down the straight, he will be getting that nice toe. So 1 lap to go. Jaroslav Galkov 1 second back from Celine Richer. As we enter the final lap with 30 seconds to go. Jaroslav Galkov taking another big chunk out there. Celine with a 1:20.5. Jaroslav at 1:59.7. This is where they made contact in the first lap of the race. See, time is up. This is the final lap. This has been another battle through the entire race of gaining and losing time. Having that 5-second penalty for Celine is definitely biting her right now. But what would the outcome been if there was no contact between them? In the first place, she'd have had a 5-second extra gap here. But then you got to think, if there was no contact, what would the race have been? Would the Jaroslav been able to pull away for the entire race? Would the Celine be able to overtake and get past? We don't know. What we do know, Jaroslav is making this very last second if he's going to have to try to make a move. He's going to have to make the move into the final turn. It's now or never. Final turn coming up. Is he going to make the moves? Under braking. No, he's not. Celine is going to take the win and take 5 wins this season. Congratulations to Celine Richer. Jaroslav crossing the line right behind. As he crosses the line, disconnects from today's race. You could have not have called that 0.2 of a second behind Celine. and as he crosses the line, disconnects from the server. Can he step? He's going to come home and bring home third place in the Camaro. It's great to see Ken taking home third place. We just wait for Heiko Sherman to come across the line. He's going to unfortunately come now a couple of laps down after recovering from a disconnect. But he is still the hardest charger today. Definitely putting those lap times in. Unfortunately, didn't make it through qualifying with a decent lap. Got caught out by the rain. Then having that disconnect, but only to come back and finish today's race. So, wow, what a finish, guys. I have never seen a race end like that before. So, we're going to go to the track overview. This has been round 7 of the GT World Challenge. Hosted by the Simpit, powered by Sim Racing GP. But guys, what a hell of a race. As it has classed it in game, even though we've seen it on our time screens as he's finished, it's classed in game. Jaroslav Galkov did not finish that race. Jaroslav, you are getting your points. You have been classed as a finisher. It just says you have finished 1 lap down. But we do know for a fact your finish time was 0.2 of a second to Celine. So congratulations on P2. Ken Estep, again, he takes P3. Heiko returning after having a disconnect himself to come home in 4th. But today's winner, and 5 times this season, your winner, Celine Witcher. So, congratulations to her. Again, guys, we will see you next week as we head over to America, into Texas, and we will see you at Circuit America. So, take care, and we will see you next time on the track.